And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before Jah out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices.
Before we start this conversation, let me roll this blunt real. Man, let me smoke with you. You my main man, God, let me joke with you. For real. About conversations over revelations is me. These bulls that be hating, wars that be fading. Like, tails to be Satan. Which way I go? Is it really to follow the right man or I move this blow? Move this coat when I'm off in these streets. They respect me, Lord. That's why my kids do eat. They love the new Jordans. Love to see Pop riding on 24s with convertible drop tops and Lamborghini doors. And why do I live this life? I see my people going all wrong, blowing that pipe. Yeah, in the late night they blowing it white. I caught gunshots like once or twice in my life.
Is there a heaven for a chief? Is there a heaven for a chief? Is there a heaven for a chief? Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a chief?
Lord, I need to know if there's a heaven for a chief. Cause I've been having some problems. I'm solving them with deeper. I need to know.
What's going on, everybody? I hope you all doing good.
Before we start this conversation, let me roll this blunt real. Man, let me smoke with you. You my main man, God, let me joke with you. For real. About conversations over revelations is me. These bulls that be hating, wars that be fading. Like, tails to be Satan. Which way I go? Is it really to follow the right man or I move this blow? Move this coat when I'm off in these streets. They respect me, Lord. That's why my kids do eat. They love the new Jordans. Love to see Pop ride on 24s with convertible drop tops and Lamborghini doors. And why do I live this life? I see my people going all wrong, blowing it pipe. Yeah, in the late night they blowing it white. I caught gunshots like once or twice in my life.
Is there a heaven for a chief? Is there a heaven for a chief? Is there a heaven for a chief? Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a chief?
Lord, I need to know if there's a heaven for a chief. Cause I've been having some problems. I'm solving them with reefer. I need to know honestly if my baby mama's a keeper. Cause she be stressing me and the Esther just keep on blessing me. I wonder when it's time to come home, would you accept the sesame? Cause my chest would be so full of it like you testing me. I'ma keep it real, I just wish I had my own recipe. I get that, that's when these people will see the best of me. Smoke for my niggas that's gone and tell them rest in peace. 6 feet, so I cheat 6 plus Lord heavenly. I get pissed and the Esther brings out the better me. I know when you smiling down on me, judging how the weather be. Lord, I need an answer, it ain't like it's causing cancer, teacher. I just need to know if I can see you. Cause I'm a chief for everything I do in my life involves weed. Will I meet you? I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see.
Is there a heaven for a chief? Is there a heaven for a chief? Is there a heaven for a chief? Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a chief?
If there's a ghetto in the sky, Lord, when I die, I'm gonna be smoking on chronic and getting high. Floating by, eyes closed with a potent high. God forgive me, but I need that weed. I hope Jesus will feel.
What's going on, everybody? What's the deal? Hope everybody's doing all right. That was called Heaven for a Chiefer. And the first verse and the hook was done by Big Lou. And I was relaxing this morning. I would do my live streams late at night. And I was relaxing this morning, and my phone rang about 8 o'clock. It was Ando the Don, one of the members of the individuals, a.k.a. the a.k.a. And I didn't answer. I said, I'll call him. Let me get some sleep. I'll call him back. But maybe about 35, 40 minutes later, he called again. I said, let me answer the phone. I thought maybe something happened to Ando. And that was his family calling me or something. Maybe, I don't know. I figured it was the emergency, though. So I picked up the phone. Ando was on the phone. I could hear it in his voice. He's like, what up, Joe? I'm like, what's up, Ando? What's going on? He was like, JoJoe died last night in his sleep. So I'm like, what? He was like, he died last night in his sleep. That's how my day started. So I was like, oh, man, So I'm gonna do this live stream, and I'm gonna dedicate it to Fatt JoeJoe, a.k.a. Big Lou. And I'm just gonna talk about some memories and stuff. When I started this group of individuals, as you can see on the first album, there's 6 members. There's 5 men and a female. Big Lou right there. There's Ando who called me. Big Lou. C Yellow. Raw Business. Sonny the Queen. And TCO. Out of these members, I knew TCO first. He was a friend of my wife at the time. He was a kid, he was young, but my wife at the time and his mother were really good friends. My wife often worked at his mother's beauty salon, a hair salon. And so as he started growing up, and growing into, 18, 19, he was hanging around me. And I found out he could rap. The second one I met was Big Lou. I can't wait to talk to my son tonight, my youngest son. Because I had my youngest son with me when I met Big Lou. I used to ride around Harvey, Illinois. I was going to start a record label. At that time, I was called the record label Royalty Records. But I ended up finding out somebody had that, so I changed it to Rule the World Records. All right. This is the logo. It's a gold CD or record with a gold crown with a black planet. I needed to get a logo done. In those days, we didn't have internet yet. Wasn't even on MySpace. But we had a little phone book called Black Pages. So I looked in the Black Pages. I found this brother that does graphics. I contacted him. I went and told him I want this to represent the black music rules the world. And so I went to the brother. He drew up the first one. I didn't like it. He drew the second one. It was perfect. A great logo. That's the logo, Rule the World Records. So after the brother got the logo done, I really liked the logo. We got to talking and getting to know each other, and come to find out that he designed the Death Row logo and his brother worked with Death Row. So I was in the streets, and because of racial profiling, of course, I ended up getting caught up, pulled over in my truck. Various things happened that you have to read my book to get the details, but I ended up getting arrested. There was nothing in the truck. But through some scamming type thing, I ended up getting arrested, and I did 4 months in the county jail while I was waiting my trial. But I only did 4 months because I didn't want to pay that high bail. So they gave me a high bond. I didn't want to pay it, so I just sat in there until they lowered the bond, because I figured paying that high bond would not make me look innocent, you know, like, where'd you get all this money from, you know? So I stuck it out. When I got out, well, while I was in the county jail, my guardian angel comes to me and say, big man says, you know, says the Father, you know, the Creator wants you to, when you get out of here, when you get out of this jail, when you pay your bond and get out of this jail, the Creator wants you to put all of your efforts into the music business. So I'm telling my guardian angel, you got, I don't know, you know, this is all going, I'll have to talk about that one day, the conversations with the guardian angel. And I was like, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not going to put all my money into the record business. I'm going to keep doing what I was doing. And then I got threatened. He threatened me. He said, well, big man says if you don't put all your, I don't want to say big man, but the Creator, because I look at it as a male and female entity. I don't want to leave the wife out. Says the Creator says, either you agree to this, and my word is bond. So agreement was good enough. My word is bond. I'm a man of my word. He said, well, either you agree to this, or you're going to lose the case. Is get out and do music or go to prison. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, no, we're not playing with you. Just what I was told to tell you. You either agree to put all your, if you agree to put all your energy in music, you will have the full support of the Most High.
other than that, prison. Yes, the Most High does make threats. So I thought about it about a day, and I told my guardian angel, who's always right there anyway, okay, you got a deal. So I was getting magazines all the time from my wife at the time, and I started having her hide cards from my record label in there. And while I was in there, that's when I met, okay, this is the first person I met, Big Lou. Well, this is the first one I met, TCO, because my wife at the time worked with his family. This is actually, yeah, this is the second person I met before I went to jail, Big Lou. And this is the third person I met in jail. Now, when I was in jail, I ran into raw business. He was on the west side. He could rap, play his comb on the table, and rap like Scarface, rap like Tupac. He was just an incredible talent. So I gave him one of them cards. But when we rewind before I go to jail, I met Big Lou. I was with my son in Harvey, Illinois. What up, Harvey world? And I'm driving around, and I got royalty records posters all over Harvey, Illinois, all over Chicago, because I'm going to start a record label. But I didn't know that the Most High was going to force me to really just do that all the time. I was going to keep hustling and do that, you know. I was going to do them like 70, 80% hustling, 20% record label. And on the Most High was like, no, 75% record label, you know. So I was driving with my son in the car, and there was a couple of brothers in the street, and they flagged me down. A brother named Tez, what up, Tez? I know he's hurting right now. And JoJoe. I don't know them, but the word got out that the brother in the Cadillac or the truck, I don't know which one I was in, that brother right there, he's starting a record label. So they flagged me down. And Ted's like, my man right here rap. I said, okay, spit some. I rolled my window down. He spit some shit for me. I said, damn, this nigga could really rap. So I got his information. And I can't wait to talk to my son about this. My son had to be my son might have been only about 3 years old. He was a little boy. He had to be about 3 or 4. I don't even think he was going to school yet. And, well, he might have been going to school. He might have been a little bit older, because this had to happen like 97. So he was 6. So I asked Big Lou, I said, so what's your rap name? And he said, Kidnapper. Okay, but he can rap. I said, okay, I'm going to get with him. I drove off. So I drove off. My son said, Dad, I don't like him. Because he heard that name, Kidnapper. My son was like, Daddy, I don't like him. I said, why? Because his name Kidnapper, he said. I said, yeah, you got to change that name. And so I got out, and I started doing, I ran into Ron Gresham. I got out, I was selling weed, because I got to pay my lawyer. I had a white friend, what up, Dave? And Dave had that shit, you know? So I drove out to Dave's house to get a couple pounds of weed, high grade. At that time was a big deal, dro, right? You still had regular on the street, but then you had dro. And he had the hydro. And when I was leaving, the black brother came. And I introduced myself to the black brother. He said his name was Ronald Gresham, said he was into music. Said he was an engineer and he works at all the studios. I said, perfect. I'm thinking about starting a record label. So he gives me his information, and that's how Rule the World Records got started. Ron, who was really plugged in with everybody, worked with Baby Safe, Babyface, you name any artist from the past, Ron has worked with them all the way up to the future, you know, the DMXs, the R. Kellys, to whoever come in the studio, he worked with them. So Ron is on a lot of albums as an engineer. And so then I started the record label, and once I started the record label, I went over to Chicago Tracks, which is where R. Curly worked at, and I worked in Studio B. And I just sent a call out through the black community, and I just had rappers just coming through like tryouts. I was making beats, and I put beats up and put them in there and see how they could rap and record them. And so it got to the point where I had 11 rappers. I had 11 rappers, and I was gonna start a group with 11 rappers, right? And so that's why the name of the group is called The Individuals, because it's 11 letters. This is 11 letters. And it was 11 individuals that could really, 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 really rap. All that original music I still have from all of these rappers from all over Chicago. I got to get with Ron, and we got to pull some money together and go in and put that music out. It's off the chain. And all 11 of them couldn't really cut it. We ended up with 6. When we did the album, the first album, Something to Smoke To, I felt like they wasn't working as hard as they could work, so I fired everybody. And then I went back and rehired 4 of them. I gave 4 of them another contract. The other 2, I didn't sign them back. I felt like they wasn't putting all in, you know. So that's how we end up with just 4 members. And these 4 members are on all 3 CDs. And that's Big Lou right there. Rest in peace to Big Lou. TCO, Raw Business, that I met in the county jail in Ando. Now, I met Ando through some young girls. I used to have some young girls that just got out of jail. I was ready to get rid of my wife. And so I had some young ladies that would, you know, I had an apartment and I was fighting my case. I hadn't met my next wife yet. I'm thinking I might go to prison for 8 to 40. They want to give me 8 to 40, so I'm out. And I'm looking at 8 to 40, so I'm trying to fuck everything moving. So I had these young ladies, what's up? I don't think I should say their name. Yeah, I could say, what up, Tasha? So I had my girl, Tasha. And Tasha was the one that would get all these ladies for me, you know. And I would bring all these ladies back to my apartment, you know, 5 ladies, 4 ladies, and to my apartment, right? And I had a closet with a lock on it, and I had on the shelf, I had all the liquor and everything. We'd just be in there partying, you know. It was wow, right? And Tasha had a friend that I think is her cousin. And they knew I was doing music. And Tasha and her cousin told me about this young brother named Ando that lived in Allgale Gardens. If you don't know, the Gardens is rough. It's rough. You know what I'm saying? So I jump in the caddy. I'm on Dayton's and shit, shining. I go down to Algo Gardens and go down in the hood. You know, taking penitentiary chances. I'm out on bond. I got a big case. And I got a pending gun case. You know, and both cases got guns in it. The other one's got other shit. So I go down here with my gun because I'm going in a dangerous area. I go down in the hood. Like I said, I'll be outside. Anybody want smoke, they don't get it. I don't give a fuck what. You know what I mean? Motherfucker run up to get gun up. I knock on the door. I say, I'm here to see Andy. Andy comes out. He gets in my car because I don't want to sit still out there. I want to stick and move. So I said, get in the car. So we drive around. I play some beats. He started rapping. At this time, I'm a four-corner hustler. Ando is a vice lord. I don't know he's a vice lord. He's a traveler. And there's some beef between foes and travelers. So Ando get to rapping and he get to saying, we be out here killing them four-corner hustlers. I, whoa, 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 whoa. I stopped the music. Whoa, 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 whoa. Showed him my 4CH ring. Boom, 4CH. Like, oh, man. We started laughing. It was funny. He was talking about killing me, basically, without even knowing it. And so we put this amazing rap crew together. And we was doing a lot of street stuff, a lot of war music. And one day, kicking it with the one I knew the longest, TCO, in front of his mother's house, we started talking about the movie called The Wood. And TCO says, did you see that part in The Wood where he said he gonna make a whole album about weed? And when he said that, a light came on in my head because I had 11 rappers. They was on all these tracks. I was gonna have to go pull them off the tracks and put the 6 rappers back on all those tracks. And I said, TCO, we should do that stupid shit. I was like, because if we do a whole album about weed, we'll be plugged with High Times, we'll be plugged with all the weed movement and shit. I told him all the music execs smoke weed and shit. You know, I was ahead of my time, of course. So we pulled all those lyrics off of the songs we had did, a lot of songs, and we went and made weed songs with that, and we dropped the first CD, Something to Smoke To. And there's Big Lou right there. So tonight I'm going to talk about Big Lou, all my experiences with Big Lou, so that his memory will be here on YouTube. Me, I'm coming out of the streets because, as I told you, the Most High is telling me to get out of the streets and get into music. So I got these young brothers, but they tied to the streets. I'm like the big man, I'm the Don. I got street ties. So now I have to make sure that none of the street dealings that I'm doing goes over to them. Because there's always going to be that temptation to put them up on some money to help them get a bag. But I was real aware that while we was doing music, I always told them that when you're trying to do something good, this is when you're going to go down if you're doing anything bad, because it sees you're trying to do something good. So I went out my way to make sure that they did not get involved with any type of marijuana sales or nothing like that while they were dealing with me at Rule the World Records. Because we're doing marijuana music, we're going to the Million Marijuana March, we're going to the Seattle Hemp Fest, we're meeting all the bosses in the movement. The Jack Hurds, the Eddie Leps, the Keith Straubs. We're meeting all of the biggest growers ever, right? And they're offering us 100 pounds, 50 pounds, just here, pay them later, right? Because we're a rap group and we're a marijuana rap group. We got 12 marijuana music awards. We're in all the marijuana magazines as time goes. So we're not going to talk too much about that whole thing, but I just want to give you a background so you can know the Big Lou, TCO, Ando, Raw Business, they was like sons to me. If not sons, nephews, you know, like my sister's children, like that, you know. But I say sons because I got a lot of love for them because they helped build a label. It was just, basically, it was just us 5 men and Ron, 6 of us. Basically, we built Root World Records. I got to go back on my Instagram and add Ron, because Ron is really the head of the label. Technically, he's the one who helped me get the label. He's the one who introduced me to Linda Minch. Rest in peace to Linda. Linda Minch was my lawyer that put the company together, and not too long ago, she died from a hit and run. Somebody ran over her, and they say it's a possibility it's intentional. So rest in peace to Linda that, her and Ron, you know, put me into the music business. So I don't go to funerals. I'm a Rasta man. I don't go to funerals. I really don't go around dead bodies. But I'm gonna have to go to the funeral. I did my vows as a Nazarite, so I'll be all right, Nazarene. So my vows was really only 7 years, so I'll be all right. So I gotta go to the funeral. That's gonna be painful. Big Lou, before we started doing marijuana music, he did a song. We did a song that I'm gonna release. And in the song, he mentioned that his mother died on Mother's Day. And he was a young man whose parents died when he was really, really young. So Big Lou was different. He was on his own, so he had that on his own mentality. Because his parents died when he was young and he had to do everything on his own. So he was always out there on his own, doing stuff on his own. He's a really good brother, so we became real tight. Some of you all that's been watching my live streams a lot, seen one of the rappers start to come into my live stream using the alias. That was Big Lou. When you see me talking to one of the rappers and reminiscing, that was him. He had just started watching me here on YouTube. So these brothers, they're like my sons to me. I want to say nephews, but no, like to me, they like sons because it's like Root World Records is the grandmother, is my mother, and I'm Root World Records sons, and they the grandbabies, you know? And I've been to the jails to bail them out. I've been to the hospital for Big Lou twice. He got shot. That's why he sang the song, I caught gunshots like once or twice in my life. So I've been to the hospital when he first got congestive heart failure, and when he met his beautiful queen, that I'm gonna hate to see her at the funeral, and just it's gonna be sad. And they got married at City Hall. And he told me the time, and I got my camera and stuff and went to City Hall and filmed them get married. So I used to go all out for these brothers because it was just me and them against the world. Trying to get in the music business at a time when the music business was changing. It was no longer, You know, in 2000, 2001, 2002, the music business was no longer, 1999, that's when I really got started. The music business was changing. They wasn't giving out money. They wasn't giving label deals no more because they gave a lot of label deals out and dudes fucked the money off. So it was beginning to change and things were slowly going from analog 2-inch tape to digital, Pro Tools. And so, that was a horrible call to get that call that he passed away so young. He's in his late 40s, mid to late 40s. He's not really that old. He died in his sleep. So I'm going to play this song again. This song is called Heaven for a Chifa. He's on the first verse. He also did the hook on this song. So he's on this.
Out of the angel's hand, and the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before Jah out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth, and there were voices.
Before we start this conversation, let me roll this blunt real, man. Man, let me smoke with you. You my main man, God, let me joke with you, for real. Our conversations over revelations is these rules that be hating, wars that be fading, like tails to be Satan. Which way I go? Is it really to follow the right man or I move this blow? Move this coat when I'm off in these streets. They respect me, Lord. That's why kids do eat. They love the new Jordans. Love to see Pop ride on 24s with convertible drop tops and Lamborghini doors. And why do I live this life? I see my people going all wrong, blowing it right. Yeah, in the late night they blowing it white. I caught gunshots like once or twice in my life.
Is there a heaven for a chifa? Is there a heaven for a chifa? Is there a heaven for a chifa? Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a chifa?
Lord, I need to know if there's a heaven for a chifa, cause I've been having some problems and I'm solving them with reefer. I need to know honestly if my baby mama's a keeper, cause she be stressing me and the Esther just keep on blessing me. I wonder when it's time to come home, would you accept assessing me? Cause my chest would be so full of it like you testing me. I'ma keep it real, I just wish I had my own recipe. I get that, that's when these people will see the best of me. Smoke for my niggas that's gone and tell them rest in peace. 6 feet, so I chief 6 plus Lord heavenly. I get pissed and the Esther brings out the better me. I know when you smiling down on me, judging how the weather be. Lord, I need an answer, it ain't like it's causing cancer, teacher. I just need to know if I can see you, cause I'm a chief of everything I do in my life involves weed. Will I meet you? I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see.
Is there a heaven for a chifa? Is there a heaven for a chifa? Is there a heaven for a chifa? Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a chifa?
If there's a ghetto in the sky, Lord, when I die, I'ma be smoking on chronic and getting high. Floating by, eyes closed with a potent high. God forgive me.
That's TCO. I know he's hurt because him and Big Lou is like this, like brothers.
Want me locked for pop, I dodge and fade. I'm still smoking, stuck in my way. I'm still puffing, yes, I'm stuck in the game. Still hustling on the come up like, hey, don't you criticize me, cause I'm trying to get paid. I got a habit, I'll be smoking that weed. I got a conscience, I don't want you to bleed. Dear Lord, is there heaven for me? I'm a chifa, I can't go a day without a reefer. I reach up and roll up another blunt, swole up another puff, inhale it and keep it then. Hold up, I'm about to bust. I will never give enough. I can't live without the stuff. Lord, I need to pass it. God, this world is really rough.
Is there a heaven for a chief? Is there a heaven for a chief? Is there a heaven for a chief? Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a chief? 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 Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a chief?
And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb.
Shout out to Illuminati Congo. That was him speaking at the end, right before he spoke. That was some Ethiopian brothers from Shashamani that said an Ethiopian prayer. That's one of my best productions, you know. It's got to be in my top 5 best songs I ever produced, especially because I got the brothers from Ethiopia on there. I got Illuminati Congo on there. I know he's feeling the way. He came up, you know, with the group. You know what I'm saying? Somebody posted a link for Back to Ballin' to get the manual. And so Uncle Mike, shout out to Uncle Mike, he's hurt. Uncle Mike's a white brother that we met at the Canadian Embassy downtown Chicago protesting for Mark Emery, and Uncle Mike came down there with my boy Richie, and Uncle Mike said he does spoken word. That's the poetry he do. He called it, instead of spoken word, he called it smoking word, and he'd be doing poetry about weed. And I said, let me hear some, and he did it, and in the poem he said, to be an individual. And I said, to be an individual, listen, man, I want you to come to the studio and say that. I'm going to put that as a song. You know what I'm saying? And so, Uncle Mike, you know, came down. He was a part of the crew. He's hurt. You know, this is a real messed up situation. So, you know, I got a lot of stories with them. We didn't have much money. I'm going to talk about it more in detail in my book. I had a lot of money, but because the Most High told me to get out the streets, I'm sinking money into the music business, but I'm not getting money because I was told not to do that. So this is what my book is about, all the stress I went through trying to do what the Most High was telling me to do and trying to wean myself off of street money and go legal. And so we would be in cars, driving all to weed events, not really making no money, just trying to get our name out there. We drove to New York a couple times. We drove to New York and went to the Million Marijuana March. We drove to New York another time and did the Marijuana Awards Fest. The Marijuana Awards had a show. We won 12 of those Marijuana Music Awards. We was driving to Seattle. We was getting on Greyhound buses if we didn't want to drive, going to L.A. And after we finished the first CD, we went to Seattle Hemp Fest. I made a connection, and they had us perform at Seattle Hemp Fest. We was real excited. So we all went out there to Seattle Hemp Fest. At this time, I had fired everybody and rehired them. So this album came out, but only only these 4 were back on the label. So these 4, we made arrangements and we went to Seattle Hemp Fest. They got on stage. You know, I would rehearse before we go up. Would rent a rehearsal studio here in Chicago. I grew up taking dance class as a kid, you know, because I had I had jumped off a thing trying to hang with my father and broke my leg. So my mother had a friend that had dance class, so she made me take dancing, and she felt like it would help my coordination, make sure my leg wouldn't be fucked up. In return, she watched the lady's daughter, went to school with us in the day. And so I was really into rehearsing. I also played band. I was in a band at school, and I also played bands, little funk bands and soul bands as a kid, you know? Because growing up, it would be bands in the garage when I grew up, and we would go watch the big boys play, and we wanted to play. So I've been playing in bands and rehearsing. So I would rent a studio and have them come and have them rehearse, show them their spacing, make sure, say every lyric, none of this sticking the mic out there. I was hard on them, say every lyric. So we rehearsed. And when they got out there to Seattle Hemp Fest and they said, the individuals, and they came out there, it was 100% perfect. It's a big stage. I had one person here, one person there, one person there, one person there. I covered the whole stage. Don't y'all stand all 4 close together. I want y'all all across the stage. One way over there, 2 in the middle. And rock that motherfucker. Say every lyric. We sent that shit up. So while we was in Seattle, they ran into some bunch of Hollywood celebrities. Seattle Hemp Fest is the biggest hemp fest in the world. 250,000 to 350,000 people come through there in 2 days. So that's how we met Jack Herr and all these famous people in the marijuana movement. And they ran into some actors and actresses that was in a new show that was coming out called Weeds. And this actors and actresses told them, you all should send y'all music in. So when I got back to Chicago, I got a press kit, a nice little press kit where the CD could fit in there. I typed up a nice little letter. I put a nice picture of them in there, and I sent the press kit of the first album, Something to Smoke To. I sent it to CBS. I sent it to Lionsgate. And we started working on the second album. And as we was working on the second album, getting that done, I got a message back from them that they wanted to buy a song on the first album. So I got a message back from CBS, or from Lionsgate, saying we want to use the song on your first album. We want to use the song called Let a Thug Smoke. So I felt like that was a sign, because I had went on ahead and started working on the second album. I was like, it's a good thing we start working on the second album. We're gonna be on major television. And that series won awards, Emmys, I think they're called. So they won awards. We was on award-winning shows. And so much respect to Big Lou, and he's the last person on this song, and this is the song that we had on Showtime comedy series Weeds.
Mind your motherfucking business and let a thug smoke.
I don't wanna have to bust your motherfucking.
That's Big Lou.
Stand on the corner in the bushes and beam with the infrared. I don't wanna have to duck the feds. I don't wanna have to duck when I'm getting bread. I don't wanna have to fill your whole ass up with his head.
I don't wanna have to see the po-po. Motherfuckers always knocking at my door when I gotta have the fofo and the dough. Now I gotta go ahead and go smoke, cause my man is going in the zone. Niggas see me coming in red through the home with the dirty cold. The motherfucker gotta let me smoke, cause if I don't, gonna think
trying to blow something.
Blow some.
Pop a cap off a gallon, choke something.
Choke
Roll
some.
a bud up and smoke something. My nigga, he got all kinds of weed. Therefore, I'm blowing all kinds of trees.
Holla now.
All dimes and D's. Survivors like Beyonce. Tell him my idol was Tupac like Beyonce's. I'm married to this music. That's why I spit the truth
Like illusions.
My visions be mellow. See yellow, the yellow fella flicking. Trying to get this fucking album off.
Stop slipping.
Sleeping on us, individuals. Meanwhile,
We smoking and getting residual.
Let a thug smoke. 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 Let a thug smoke.
A nigga need to roll some weed instead of having beer. Cause my people out here on the street, when you know they should be running the street, stunting for the whole that we went for free. I done had many thugs that done lost their life. All my little thugs come get dope tonight. Cause a nigga like me just gotta be high, penetrate through the wind when I'm riding by. And you know this weed gon' ease my pain. Cause the nigga out here in a dirty game. Most niggas don't know what they're fighting for. 50-50 it's a whole war pilot show. And a nigga like me gon' smoke some Joe. Y'all niggas know how that shit go.
Let a thug smoke.
Nigga be quick to try to push your button. Even if your people sweet and so sudden. I'm tired of tough, tired of bug, tired of struggle, tired of all this gangbang shit. They kill me cause y'all niggas ain't feeling me. Y'all niggas be killing me. With the bullshit that had me back blowing beans. Y'all niggas better go for get your wings spit on bitch. Hit the weed and pass it. And
Let a thug smoke. 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 Let a thug smoke.
Hands dragging, I'm sagging, I ain't giving no fuck.
Yeah, I'm a thug.
I admit it, running off with the mouth, not only talking but living. I'ma get this shit in order, so they can spill it. And while they sprinkling, I'ma creep from the blind side. You think shit sweet?
That's what you get for thinking.
Hopelessly sinking, smoking and drinking, choking the sentence, potency chemist. I'm cold with it,
Got you blown.
listening close, like
What did that nigga say?
got a style similar to trigger play.
I get the bus.
And you fucked up off any discussion I'm speaking. You get to tweaking and switching positions. This nigga
It's
is
something else.
like other dimensions. I'm off into space. Got you lost and you caught in my trap. The effect from a
Blood to the face. Let a thug smoke. 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 Let a thug smoke.
I'm on the block, just trying to hide paper for bail. Slang these rocks and pills, trying to stack mail. Fuck the bullshit, I got the full clip of dum-dums. Any nigga run up, set trip, they get some. Lurk limbo, pop pistols, it's real simple. Fuck a demo, do this shit and rock a riddle. 160, get swole like Bill Bixby. Slap box with niggas, so my niggas get with me. Fuck that, niggas fuck blacks and whites. Don't get no fuck, just react so tight. Hit that Chevy Rumble. When they sit on them dubs, I slap the shit out of bitches. When I'm drinking in clubs,
Let a thug smoke. 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 Let a thug smoke.
never disrespect.
Let a thug smoke. Let a thug smoke. Let a thug smoke. Let a thug smoke. Let a thug smoke.
Yo, man, pull up a gun, yeah, yeah, that sound. On the ground, your body got phone. Blood, we take up them gun. Hold up, and that push them bones. This way, young, but got them front. And I have one that blood them John. Fast and pick up these rounds. Yo, big gun, bust up in your head. Fast if I'm not this or that. Blood, from A to Z. Now, the Mr. Infrared. This way, young, but crew go fled. Beat the corner in the word. Fast and pick up these rounds. Yo, killer shit, nigga.
Yeah, nigga. That's how it is. So good.
Yo.
Let a thug smoke individuals, rest in peace. Big Lou, a.k.a. Fatt JoeJoe. Rule the World Records. There's also a story about this. Saladin, where you at, Saladin? Oh, he's probably gonna be there. Oh God, I'm gonna see a lot of brothers I ain't seen. We was on some Chicago shit, so we wanted to, at that time, the box Chevy was the thing. I really wanted to make my CDs really stand out. So I spent a lot of money to make sure I had fold outs and all of that. And So we went around the city and we got brothers and we took pictures of brothers' box Chevys that would match the colors that the brothers was wearing. And we also had them secretly wearing their gang colors, Traveler, Blackstone, Conservative Vice Lord, Four Corner Hustler, GD, and Sonny, who's just a biker. And that song ended up on Weeds. Now, there's a story behind that song, too. When we did that song, we did a lot of verses. We had it done. And I wanted to go back and have them holler on those parts. I wanted them, you know, it's something else. Blunt to the face, right? So I went and me and Ron, we kept bringing the music back. I had them in there with 2 microphones stacked up, had them keep saying these things and stack it and make it fat. They didn't want to do it. They was so mad at me for making them do them vocals like that. They was mad. They did not like that. And so on the side note, when you have a producer and you're a musician, you have a producer, listen to the producer. Let the producer produce. Let the producer take your talent and produce, because we sent the whole CD in, and out of all the songs, CBS and Lionsgate picked a song that I made them work really hard on the ad-libs. The ad-libs are different. Also, shout out to Pancho Cristal that did the dance halls, bad boy thing at the end. Shout out to Carl Brown, who brought Pancho Cristal to the studio. So I'm just going down memory lane, trying to keep Big Lou's memory popping. I'll play a few songs with him on it. And talk about the memories. I'm really sad he's gone like that. And it just shows you, you know, how life is, you know. You have to really take life serious. You know what I mean? So now, one of the songs that I think that Big Lou did the most amazing lyrics on is a song called Stuck in the Game. We did a song called Stuck in the Game. And he's on the hook with just some thug niggas trapped in the game like that. So he's on the hook. And he has 2 verses. Now, Big Lou did not write. He didn't write. Him and Raw Business didn't write. They freestyle. But Big Lou could freestyle like a writer. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen a rapper do. TCO is very amazing because TCO could write 2 verses and go in there and spit them like he memorized them. And I couldn't believe it. They were very incredible. They're very incredible artists. Now, Big Lou, on this song, Stuck in the Game, I'm going to play for you, he has 2 verses. And in on his first verse, he ad-libs, he raps, freestyle, a story about getting in a beef with somebody. And so then when he goes to his next verse, he freestyles and continues the story. Every time I listen to this song, I'm just amazed how he freestyled a whole story in 2 verses like that. How do you do that? He was one of the most talented people, and I hate that he passed away because I was going to get him to go in and do an album so that he would have a solo album and part of his legacy. You know? So this is one of the most amazing verses I've ever heard. This is a song called Stuck in the Game, still on the first album. The music is produced by me, a.k.a. Clark. That's my name as a producer. And I'll let you hear for himself his verse.
Gotta keep the guns bust. Let me tell relate with me. Leave the bullet rush. Hop, hush. Body numb, you barely move. Hit the weed, indeed, the end of. Got you feeling good, I can't believe rappers wanna get at me. I got them on mug life. Every time I'm rapping thug life. On the streets, niggas stacking. Caught up in this terror like feathers. On the wings of a ticket. But mind your business. I get suspicious when vicious cats attack. Even hood rats buy sacks. And it's a shame when you have no cash. Always chasing that ass. At last you came up. You and your boy got stuck up. But your boy facing 30 gets a setup. Don't give up your freedom to the system of non-believers. Keep the heaters by the hip along with the street sweepers. A real creeper dressed in black with the eyes of a cheetah.
Just put your money up and we can bet. Ain't no regrets. Win or lose, I'ma still flex. Get my respect and get the checks and get my cheeks together. Look at the odds. I'm the underdog with much heart.
I'm not from the West Side, I'm from the South Side. Wild Hunters, 116th from Aberdeen. Big Lou from Harvey World. Far South. Raw Business from the West Side.
Our ritual makes the lyrical, but we can season critical. Ain't nothing save you, you're pitiful. You're falling off, soon as I kick it, it's holocaust. All of y'all gon' fall to my concentration. I'm on your local station and national. Listen to something rational instead of black on black attack. What the fuck we clash for? The question asked before we blast the gold, even the tragic aftermath. It'll never last for show. Show me love streets, I ain't had nothing to eat. I barely got
Clothes on my back, shoes on my feet.
I came up quick, the lick I hit was sweet.
Rags to riches.
Rule number one, always try to hide your business, but
niggas fucked up in the game.
That's Big Lou.
Caught slugs night stuck in the rain. Shit changed and he feeling the pain. We just some thug niggas after some change.
Show me love streets, I ain't had nothing to eat.
Yeah, that's TCO and Big Lou on the hook.
Back, shoes on my feet, I came up quick. The lick I hit was sweet. Rags to riches. Rule number one, always try to hide your business, but
niggas fucked up in the game. Caught slugs night stuck in the rain. Shit changed and he feeling the pain. We just some thug niggas after some change. It's fucked up, nigga, that you a trick. You the same motherfucker telling me to get up in this shit. And the minute you had to leave just before the pole came. That's a damn shame. Ain't know my name already, I ain't seen this shit. I'm looking down the motherfucking barrel pistol grip. And I'm lost and stuck thinking like what the fuck. And then the same thought came, you set my ass up. Now we was making some G's together, tight. We was hiding money on every fucking night. And the same thought in the same place of fucking mind. You had to get me caught up with the fucking swine. Swine, where your family and where you stay. Don't give a fuck if your kids dead when you lay. It's all about some do or die or some paying back. Put 50 motherfucking rounds in this black.
show me love streets, I ain't had nothing to eat. I barely got clothes on my back, shoes on my feet. I came up quick, the lick I hit was sweet. Rags to riches. Rule number one, always try to hide your business, but
niggas fucked up in the game. Caught slugs night stuck in the rain. Shit changed and he feeling the pain. We just some thug niggas after some change.
Hard times get mine, twisted my nine, intent for hugging and loving. I'm about to squeeze it so niggas can feel it. Is it true that niggas can't be trusted?
That's Ando the Don, he the one called me. Let me know Big Lou died.
Open them doors or open them holes and fofo. No mercy, I won't revenge on all these bitch niggas who hurt me. Stop me, pop me, drop in, but they shit shaking here. Them niggas gon' call me magic man. I'll
Make them disappear.
so let's teach them all a lesson. We're spitting westerns. I'm about to end your fucking questions. weapons, spitting weapons. Cause all these niggas out here thinking diamonds glisten. But they better stop and listen, for their asses end up missing. I'm on this mission, this is not an opinion, the fact is what it is. Whatever I gotta do to get the deals. If it means killing your kids, I'ma do it. I'm like you bombing fluid. I thought the bitches knew.
I'm feeling good. We just rocked the show. 30,000 people, and they all move from side to side, wall to wall, back to door, back to door. Now I'm out the door and I'm counting dough. What the fuck is this nigga looking at me for? Walking up to my car with a double fold. Ain't this some shit? The same nigga that tricked his brother coming at me on some retaliation shit. This be a thing from the past. Just come back and hold a nigga and kill my fucking ass shit. I'm holding out and I got plenty of this cash, and I wouldn't even think about this little bitch. Bitch came up, pop shots. I didn't have no chance to grab Glock. I gotta stay alert so I won't be surprised, cause these shady ass niggas trying to close my eyes.
So we on the streets, I ain't had nothing to eat. I barely got clothes on my back, shoes on my feet. I came up quick, the lick I hit was sweet. Rags to riches, rule number one, always try to hide your business, but
Niggas fucked up in the game. Coach slugs, now he stuck in the rain. Shit changed and he feeling the pain. We just some thug niggas after some change.
so me love streets, I ain't had nothing to eat. I barely got clothes on my back, shoes on my feet. I came up quick, the lick I hit was sweet. Rags to riches, rule number one, always try to hide your business, but
Niggas fucked up in the game. Coach slugs, now he stuck in the rain. Shit changed and he feeling the pain. We just some thug niggas after some change.
Another vibe now that he passed away last night. Shit fucked up. The first time I had him in the studio, he was rapping, everybody put me in the house, sign him. So yeah, man, it's a lot, right? Yeah, the link is in the description. If you hit the link in the description, somebody post the link in the description. One of my moderators post the link in the description throughout this thing so people can go find the music. All right? So yeah, I got a lot of memories of him driving across the country, hanging out in the city. You know? They my family, you know what I mean? I made sure the contracts was fair. Their contracts really didn't matter because I was just gonna break them off, whatever we was gonna make, even if it was more than what they were supposed to get in the contract. You know, they was gonna get it. I really went into the business with the idea to be fair. So many people were saying the music business was cheating people. So I really went into business to be fair. And so yeah, it's just like I lost a son. You know, all my kids know him. My ex-wife, she hurt because it was always up in her apartment in the old block. That was another amazing thing, you know. It was a Vice Lord, a GD, a Four Corner Hustler, and a Blackstone. And we would be down in O Block and BD territory, no problems. And we had BD down there messing with us too on some songs. So it was really amazing to have these brothers from 4 different gangs working together, and because they friends, they boys become associated with each other. So they was associating the hood because they going back and forth to each other's hood. And when TCO and Big Lou Hood, he treated like a god, and when Big Lou and TCO, he treated like the god. The GD's gonna respect him. The Blackstone's gonna respect TCO. The Vice Lord's gonna respect TCO. Vice Lord's gonna respect Big Lou, and so forth. So whichever gang they went around, because one of their men was the gang, it was just another amazing thing. And we had all these black people coming to this like Windy City Weed Fest, and we had all their friends coming, which was from various gangs. Well, nobody shooting, well, nobody killing, well, nobody gangbanging. Everybody was smoking weed, eating food, and having a good time and enjoying the festival. So I got a lot of pleasure out of them being affiliated with different street organizations. There was a lot of power to that. I wish I would have filmed when they used to shake hands. They made up handshakes between the 2 different gangs. And there's 4 of them, so 4, right? So if you do it with him, right? So that, and then him, and him. So they had like 9 to 12 different handshakes. Maybe even more than that, because each one shook with the other one. They did a totally different handshake. It was the most amazing thing ever. They had developed a handshake of the 2 gangs. When the GD would shake up with the Blackstone, they made up a GD Blackstone shake. When the Blackstone would shake up with the Four Corner Hustler, they made a shake. When the 4 would shake up with the Vice Lord, they would just do the Vice Lord shit. But they had made up a combination of their gangs when they would shake hands. It was amazing. I know they hurt. I know Ando hurt. I could hear it when he called me. I know TCO was fucked up because him and Big Lou was like that. Like, TCO lived in the south suburbs and Big Lou, so they was close. And then Ando and Raw Business was close because Ando was a Vice Lord and Raw Business was a Four Corner Hustler, so they was close. So they was like this. They was all cool, but Big Lou and TCO was real close, and Ando and Raw Business was real close. But it's gonna hurt all of them. We haven't found Raw Business yet. We don't know where he's at. He be in and out of prison, and I'm telling his communication is down right now. I don't know where he's at. I gotta find him. I gotta go through some of my old phone numbers, see if I can find his mother's phone number or somebody, or hit a relative on his Facebook tonight. So yeah, that was up with that. Something to smoke too. Rest in peace to Big Lou. So after that news this morning, I had to get up and I had to make some posts. I had to make some videos and some posts to post on the record label website. I had to, on the record label social media, I had to post on, send something for them to post on their account. And so I just went back to sleep. I had to go back to sleep on that. But we did a lot of good music together, you know? Big Lou is on the hook of this song right here. I produced the beat on it. They all on it, but you can hear his voice. a little bit more than anybody. And the name of this song is That's Right.
Let's ride. East side, west side, let's ride. North side, south side, any side. I ain't scared to die, belly, you better hide. We can ride, we can ride.
Here I come. Me and you can go toe to toe, blow for blow. You better run, get the gun. Bustin' back for fun, what you laughing at? This the nigga that I'm blasting at. Another chapter in the fucking newest wrapped up nigga. Individual, the killer. Individual nigga, what you filler, the rilla. Nigga, I swear to God, I'm sick with it. And if you all step, you all get it.
I got my neighbors labeled, keep telling fables. You speaking, tweaking in my rides. Ride my slide twice as nice, feel a fire, push it inside. My love got me tired, shanky ass. The peeping, leaving you gone. Coming wrong, push the gas. Take you out to Denny's later, let me hit that ass. Don't ask, cause it's a rap, candle light. Take you out to lunch, feel the vibe from the skunk in the trunk, got the pump.
Got the pump, hit that motherfucker forehead. Got it cold red, doing motion and motion. I'ma flex this nigga, midnight killers on his finger. Fuck him up, hell yeah, let's hit this nigga. Heard he got some out-of-state tags. Told for dang, that's to kill the bag and buy it for they fucking bag. Hit this nigga, hell yeah, take that trash. Really make him make that motherfucker do the dash. Let's ride, east side, west side, let's ride. North side, south side, east side. I ain't scared to down, daddy, you better hide. We can ride, let's ride. East side, west side, let's ride. North side, south side, east side. I ain't scared to down, daddy, you better hide. We can ride,
Get your facts straight, don't react late. What you tripping on? What you slipping for? What you sipping on? Give me some, we can ride to any side. You better hide, I ain't scared to die, I'll do it for life. What it be like? Hop your ass in. Bring your friends, I'll make them come too. I'm busting through, then I'm through. Get rid of all you too small, do I'll never lose. I'll just evolve, do we better than you other dudes. You just too small for it.
45 clutch and I'm high. Feel the depth push, vibrate when we ride. Never try to concentrate on the kiss as I dismiss and hit the thighs. GC till I die, see yellow the felon, belly wide. Come inside, when we ride, hit the door. Magnum 38, 44, and we got these hoes. Stripping, feeling the bitty suspicious, you figure, we figure, I figure.
Here I go. Where should I spit? I'm a fucking fit, but I'm doing torment. That nigga crazy. Pop creators in the night. Fist fire. What the fuck they thought? I'ma get my shit out of time. Blow up in the studio. We can fucking go toe to toe. We can bring the wall. It's a murder show. Get it, anything you feel it. Inflict the pain. War was so great, make shit. Wood grain. Let's ride. East side, west side, let's ride. North side, south side, east side. I ain't scared to die, daddy, you better hide. We can ride, let's ride.
Rap, my guys got texts, Uzis, 9mm, 4.5, and the whole 9. On the real, we in here mixing hydro and purple haze in the blunt, and we finna get fucked up. So go ahead and blaze that shit up, cause y'all really don't want no drama. Calm it down, please.
Come with that shit and run with that shit. I'll be always to come with that shit. What the fuck they don't know about this bitch about this motherfucking herb. Running with my turf, you got some fucking nerves. Coming across the dirt, well, I serve in the bird. Pay for the first and the 31st. I'm quick to serve, nigga, what? You fucking hurt. You never fuck with the shit that I got. Shit that I got. It's so hard. Never stop for looking blind. Break that shit. Any side can fucking ride. East to motherfucking west to the fucking south. Let's ride. East side, west side, let's ride. North side, south side, any side. I ain't scared to down, daddy, you better hide. We can ride, let's ride. East side, west side, let's ride. North side, south side, any side. I ain't scared to down, daddy, you better hide. We can ride, we can ride. We can ride, we can ride. Bitch, won't don't die, nigga. We can ride, nigga. We can ride, nigga. Home by the side, put it home by the side, nigga. Ride, nigga. Won't die, nigga. Let's ride, nigga. Motherfucking ride, nigga. Ride, nigga.
Lady nigga.
Hey,
Fired up, man.
Cut it up, roll it up, blaze it up, smoke it up. Cut it up, roll it up, blaze it up, smoke it up.
I feel good 'cause I realize that there's no need to feel stressed. In this life I've done my best. As times get rougher, I get a little tougher. And when it seems I've had enough, I
my nails get burnt, when my lips get numb. Everywhere I go, they got Joes. Smoking so much green, I feel like a soldier. I wanna roll up some fire, so I can get blow past cloud nine and touch the sky on my tiptoes, tearing up my timbos, trying to smoke out the road after out the road. Cut it up, roll it up, blaze it up, smoke it up. Come on.
That's what it is. I might as well play the remix.
You ready, rude boy? Because I burn the place.
So I did a remix, put all my Jamaican brethren, all the reggae artists on there in Chicago. Not all of them, but the most popular ones at that time.
Because I realize that there's no need to feel stressed. In this life I've done my best. As times get rougher, I get a little tougher. And when it seems I've had enough, I just blaze it up. Cut it up, roll it up, blaze it up, smoke it up.
and every day. Take good down on my knees and pray for another day. Pull it up, smoke it up, me feel like rain. Here's the ragamuffin, we are the celebrity. Yeah. Cut it up, roll it up, blaze it up, smoke it up. Come on.
I need to cut it up. I need to roll it up. Yeah.
Cut it up, roll it up, blaze it up, smoke it up. I'm gonna smoke it away from December.
Blaze it up. I need to smoke it up. Yeah.
Ganja, 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 ganja. I'm gonna smoke it, say me and me say Brenda. Ganja, 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 ganja. Me can and me going to Jamaica. So burn it up, never burn up the ganja. Burn it up, people talk we a wonder. Burn it up, we a take up in the pocket and burn it up. Chicago people they go under. Cut it up, roll it up, blaze it up, smoke it up.
Baby, I need to cut it up. I need to roll it up. Yeah.
Cut it up, roll it up, blaze it up, smoke it up.
I need to blaze it up. I need to smoke it up. Yeah.
Give me the weed, good ganja weed. Give me the sense of me, now make me blow down the sea. Give me the weed, good ganja weed. Give me the sense of me, now make me blow down the sea. Love is what you have to do today. Hey, what when you want to get high? Like I don't know, like the birds in the sky. Like I don't know why.
From the road boy.
I'm saying no lie, I'm saying this you wanna true. Where the weed good, me say it make me feel good. No for better, no for buffer, no for them and screw. Who run because control the brain, yo. And them attack and them not like I yo. Hot like the fire, me say respect Joe. Big up all the massive and know about the crew. Yeah, the general and him talking to you, yo.
Cut it up, roll it up, blaze it up, smoke it up.
I need to
Yeah,
cut
I
it up.
swear,
I need to
I
roll it
pray.
up. Yeah.
Cut it up, roll it up, blaze it up, smoke it up.
I need to blaze it up.
I
I
pray.
need to smoke it up. Yeah.
I'm Mr. Street Hustler, I'm Mr. That is the fact. Enough in me beam, I'm in on the map. 1995, I wear the general a clap. When me gone, we down in a Texas. 100 pound a weed, he say in me car back. Dilly and a dolly, and me know me not stop. No afraid that they pop, or no afraid that they clap. Easy no bubble, easy bubble dreadlock.
Yo, roll up the weed, roll up the weed. More ganja. Yeah, man, blaze it up, man. Well, I'm man sing ganja man, I think I need in a quarter. Smoking on me Dutch master, roll a split with me data, me yata. Blazing on me cut you with water. Fit bone with that, I man pleasure me yada. Cut it up in a country, sell it out for me corner. When I jump if you burn your wind, I need no in answer. One juicer, you ask the question, here is your answer. Road boy not take with booster.
So hit the link in the description. If I got moderators over here, post that link in the description. This is a livocation of Big Lou. One of those things. I got a call this morning. He passed away. So I'm going through some of the music. I'm not going to play everything. I'll play a few songs. And yeah, you know, you here today, gone tomorrow. If you don't be careful, you got to take care of yourself on a side note. I don't think Big Lou was 50 years old. I think he's somewhere in his 40s. I'm gonna find out. I have his social security number. I don't have his year of birth. I'm really not ready to go to his funeral. It is going to be good to see some of his friends that I haven't seen. A lot of the brothers out in Harvey. Boy, Harvey is going to be in the building. Oh boy. Fatt JoeJoe died. Whew. He was a big fixture in Harvey, Illinois, that's for sure. I get to see Static. Static will be there, sure. Ugh. I gotta go out and buy myself a black suit. Yeah, it's a big, it's rough on the young guys, you know, they was close. And so it's really rough on them. That's a lot of hours that we spend together when we make music like that with a group. We're in the studio. We would at least be in the studio at least 2 to 3 nights a week, all night. You know, all night. You know, from like 7 at night till like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the morning, depending on what we doing. It's a lot of hours spent together, making the music, promoting the music. Social media had started, so we were starting to spend some time making posts for YouTube, MySpace at that time. Twitter was easy. We could just talk to each other and everybody just tweet from their phones. That was easy. But we spent a lot of hours and hours and hours and hours together. And, you know, we really didn't get the props we were supposed to get due to racism, you know, because we was black. But we really, I mean, we're really at the top of, when you talk about marijuana music, I mean, we at the top. 12 Marijuana Music Awards, 2 songs on weeds. We've been on 2 episodes of Weeds. We made the first medical marijuana song ever made called Weed Helps. We got the only medical marijuana song with a lot of the leaders of the movement on there. We have people like Jack Hur on the song, rest in peace to Jack. Eddie Lepp, rest in peace to Eddie. We was really doing stuff that was unheard of and got some classics. And one of the classics that everybody loves, off of his second album, Something to Smoke to 2. One of the big songs that everybody loves, and it's really a classic, is High Daily. We got Eddie Lepp on here. Rest in peace to Eddie. He passed away last year. Eddie Lepp was famous in all the marijuana magazines because he had like acres and acres with thousands of marijuana plants in California. So Eddie Lepp was real popular. We got to hang out with him. We got footage at his farm and stuff before they put Eddie did 10 years in prison right after we left that farm. So we have Eddie Lepp on this song. We got Eddie Lepp at the beginning. We got Ando's a woman at the time, Ruth. I wonder if she's going to be there. She should, because she has children by Ruth. We have Ruth on the song. We have Ando on the song. No, we have, at the beginning of the song, we have Eddie Lepp. We have Ruth. We have my boy P. Burl, a folk corn hustler from the West Side. I was really mixing it up, making it real, just a whole mixture of many different walks of life. So this is a really popular record we did. With him on the hook. He doesn't have a verse on this song.
I'm Eddie Lepp. I'm with Eddie's Medicinal Gardens in Upper Lake, California, and I get high daily. That's Rick Raleigh from the U.S. Marijuana Party down here in Barstow, Illinois, and I get high daily.
Check it out, this roof on the dump out of time or pictures and everything, I get high daily.
Smoke every day, and my love, they deserve the best. Therefore, I'm getting what they need, and you know what the beat that this is in my chest. And I just love it when I'm coughing and choking chest. Be burning, my eyes get watery, and then my face start jerking. That mean that stick is working, she just doing her job. I'm just maintaining, no more straining after busting this job. Just take a couple of hits, homie, you be seeing the stars. This that real shit, this here be more than 16 bars. That was the odds of a nigga like you be blowing like me. Not 1 in a million, 1 in a trillion, dog, I just can't see. So stop your woofing, homie, cause I'ma get high daily. And watch what the fuck you say to me, and don't you try to play me, nigga. I'ma get high daily. 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 I'ma get high daily.
Yeah, it's the I-Click. Don't get it twisted.
Send it up, roll them up, lick them up, and stick them up, now light them up. That's what we call blowing up. Lick it down and roll up. Smell the aroma, this marijuana music you bumping. I click it all up, blowing back and hold the stack. Tip control, we flipping packs. Ain't shit you can do with that. Something to smoke you to the back. Send it up, roll them up, lick them up, and stick them up, now light them up. That's what we call blowing up. Hell yeah, nigga, we back, bitches. You fuck around and have back stitches. The folks from Max spitting. Who was the black hitting? Who was the Mac hitting? Niggas don't wanna see me, motherfucker. I'm stack getting. Get more money on. Tickle your phony bone. With nothing but this hollow tip. Hopping up on this chrome. It's on. Treating you niggas like some fucking hoes. We the individuals. Five some fucking drones. Hell yeah, nigga, with the I-Click. Motherfucker, better down to you back with.
Much respect to Big Lou. I'm gonna try to pick out some of his verses. Play some of his verses. Shout out to Big Lou.
100 for no weed, 100 for no weed, 100 for no weed. Me say me care about 100 for no weed, 100 for no weed. No fear that they pop, no fear that they cop. 100 for no weed, 100 for no weed, 100 for no weed. Me say me care about
R.I.P. Lou.
100 for no weed. No fear that they pop, no fear that they cop.
100 pounds of weed, dog, that was last week. 50 in the trunk and 50 on the backseat. Shot back for the niggas trying to jack me. Fast dance border for the niggas trying to catch me.
Fuck the police.
They roll right past me. It was so clean, so motherfucking classy. Legally, so quick, so fast. Yeah, hit the hood, nigga,
So motherfucking nasty.
need some good weed, nigga.
Just ask me.
Know you refer to time,
Nigga,
nigga.
hell bag it.
I got a fast track, a nigga that'll back me.
I do what I want, I do what I feel.
You can't smell shit,
Cause it's vacuum sealed.
my weed is selling itself, dog.
That's for real.
It's so fluffy with a beautiful taste. Dog, one sip is about as big as your face. I got a
100 pound of weed, 100 pound of weed, 100 pound of weed. You say he make your bar. 100 pound of weed, 100 pound of weed. Don't fear that they fall down.
Let's go through some of Big Lou's verses. Matter of fact, he did this hook on here.
What's up, weed smokers? This is DJ Chronic, WEEV Radio, 420 on your radio now. Our subject today is money. Moolah.
Yeah, he did this hook and he did the
Cash flow. Dollar bills,
first
dollar
verse.
bills, y'all. Get with me, audience. Get with me.
all I want is money and nothing but that money. And if it ain't my money, it ain't a damn thing funny. All I want is money and nothing but that money. And if it ain't my money, it ain't a damn thing money.
Okay, first caller, talk to me. Let's get these
He
phones.
was crazy on them hooks, boy.
What's up, nigga? This hustle man D. I'm getting stupid money out here, man. We throwing stacks on niggas' faces, throwing Moet bottles on bitches and shit. Man, we getting dollars, nigga. Man, holla back.
Okay, next call. Let's do the next one of mine. Next call.
All I want is money and nothing but that money. And if it ain't my money,
R.I.P. Big Lou.
nigga like $1 million blow spot. I want my knot big enough to choke an elephant. I'm hella sick, clocking more cash and double mint. I keep you bent off that motherfucking toe, man. I'm in this drama, get this money, and ain't a damn thing going down unless I get 50 keys and 100 pounds through the town pushing. Just ask the mayor, do I give a care? Hell no, I'm moving right there. A rock spot right next to the currency exchange. I blow they rains and I ran the range with motherfucking blocks or manos. Niggas talking all that bullshit, I don't know about 5 McDonald's. Money and nothing but that money. And if it ain't my money, it ain't a damn thing money. All I want is money and nothing but that money. And if it ain't my money, it ain't a damn thing money. Chronic by the pound, nigga. Best drove in town, nigga.
I got a stash full of stacks, 100 pounds in a lack, and I'm low key as fuck. Call me what's up, supply and demand. Money in my hand, quick flip, hustle and tip. The whole hood loving me. Superman doors on some other G, gang smothering, sky high hovering.
Yeah, rest in peace to Big Lou. Going through some of the songs. Gonna play the one he did, Roll With You. And one thing is that he left a legacy behind. It's a good thing he recorded his music. He's got something that's gonna live forever. You know, we're gonna keep the music out there forever. We're gonna play something off of this one. We're gonna play Roll With You, where he did the hook and the verse. say bars like prison. Staffy. Hey, whip clean, money big. Wanna roll with you. They wanna take your picture. Money long.
Super fresh. When they see you at your best, you know they all wanna roll with you. They wanna roll with you. They wanna take your picture.
Sold up, I'm stepping out. Big bank, that's what I'm about. Mike's ain't even came out. Too big, no doubt. My nigga,
Boy, we was putting it in.
They tell me that's a money sign. I'm
All my money, baby, all the fucking time.
I stay up on my grind. I always gotta shine. I got that bread for breakfast for dinner time. I'm all about my dough. Why you living foul? That there's my money, and I need it now. I like it in them racks, dog, and fucking piles. Call me Mr. Bad Money, that money child. I'm in a different mode. I got a different mind. Money on my brain, man. I think about it all the time. Cash on my mind, man. I think about it all the time. Money on my brain, man. I think about it all the time. I'm in a different mode. I got a different mind. Money on my brain, man. I think about it all the time. Cash on my mind, man. I think about it all the time. Money on my brain, man. I think about it all the time.
big money, big things. Big face, walk, big diamond ring. I get money, so it ain't the thing. Come through the block and say the thing.
Rest in peace to Big Lou. Lack of marijuana.
Man, I need to fly this motherfucker. Leave them, boys. Boy, motherfucker gonna make me lose it, yo. Man. Man, I need to motherfucker running, man. What this shit, man? Roll it like a marijuana. My mind goes crazy. My mind goes crazy. My mind goes crazy. Roll it like a marijuana. My mind goes crazy. My mind goes crazy. My mind goes crazy for that green. My mind gon' snap. I gotta get that dough. Every day I trap. I slap. Motherfuckers out their shoes. If I ain't got that green, motherfuckers got the blue. I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm blue. I'm blue. Don't fuck with me 'cause I roll.
I roll.
You know.
Luco.
Motherfucker, I'm from
Chicago, yeah, for the lack of marijuana. My mind goes crazy. My mind goes crazy. For the lack of marijuana. My mind goes crazy.
my mind goes crazy. My mind goes crazy.
Smoke another one. Up in the morning, like fuck you, pay me.
I'm trying to get dope
Like
like
my name was Jay-Z.
you crazy. If you don't think I get it, every fucking day I'm trying to do
Them digits,
you niggas,
you lame.
you out your fucking lane. I'm in my fucking group. I'm running on the lanes, jumping on the blocks. I'm rubbing on the tops. They mad at that boy 'cause the rhythm don't stop. I'm hot. And you cold.
You cold.
You understand? Yes, yes, sir. I roll.
I roll.
I go.
I go, I'm from the go.
If you didn't know, now you know.
What? For the lack of marijuana, my mind goes crazy.
My mind goes crazy. My mind goes crazy from the lack of marijuana. My mind goes crazy. My mind goes crazy. My mind goes crazy.
I was cracking up when he came out with this stupid shit. I'm like, boy, we record that dumb shit. That shit crazy. I can't believe he came up with this stupid shit. This shit hot.
I let them go, get good. My hood, we get guap. Mad at the boys because they trap non-stop. Big bread with big heads. You bitch niggas gon' run until fast. I'm off the block every day, moving my Chevy way. Mad at the boys
Yeah.
Smoke another one. I smoke another one. Smoke another one. I smoke another one. Smoke another one. I smoke another one. Smoke another one.
Yeah, I tell you, man.
I'm smoking on that ganja green. Do you wanna get high with me? I got nothing but that high grade weed. Mad dirt cheese and a couple of cheese. Listen, how can I smoke with you? It's your choice, I got purple too. Let's get going like we're supposed to do.
Rest in peace, Luke.
The type of cats keep the good smoke. What you look for? And I'ma come through, show you what you should blow. I got that good shit, my swag, so everybody wanna see me, dog, but everybody want it. Just jumped out the bag of the good smoke. Now they like, what's up? Do what it look for. I get good drunk and the good kush. Smell so stink.
It need a good douche.
Almost sack of the purple, feeling woozy. Niggas talking crazy,
But these hoes trying to use me.
I'm so fly.
What up, Luke?
I done lost my keys and no lies. Pounds of bubble cushion, give me a new whip. I'm laid back, smoking out in the spaceship. Give me a great whip. I got a great jab. Mad at them boys, dog, cause we move a great line.
I got lungs full of smoke, that good green dope, that kush girl. We so fly that we float. We pump that good God's gift to the earth. You know, bless yourself.
Shout out to TCO, man. I feel your pain.
When the spliff get lit, like the incense, but you can still smell that shit. Soon as you get it with, you can tell that shit. Pineapple Express, it's a movie about this. Fat movie, sweet twist, blowing with the acting. Eyes to the Midwest, how you on some shot shit. With the speeds way up, rolling V's up stuff. Take the slow pump swirl, this to get you fucked up. Yeah, I got that stuff, and it's stuffed in a jar. And it's guaranteed high, cause you fucking with a star. Yeah, I'm
You know, I was just telling Uncle Mike, I'm like, Uncle Mike, we got to shoot a documentary. We got to go shoot a documentary because we did all this work in Chicago way back, you know, in 2000, right? And we did all this work in Chicago to get marijuana off. We really the ones that did it. Dan Lynn, Rich Rollins, Richie, Uncle Mike, Big Lou, Ando, TCO, Raw Business, Pharaoh, Ron Gresham, we the one, we did all the work. And now it's legal, and it's like, I want them to get their respect. Like we did it years ago. Like years, many years ago. We the ones that put this on the map. You know? So I gotta knock out my book about my life story, then knock out my marijuana book that I'm working on. That's just taking a lot of research. I'm going to be going on a big marijuana tour. 2004. Next year I'll be doing my other book tour. In 2004 I'll be doing a marijuana book tour. 2024. 2023 I'll be doing my life story book tour. And then I'm gonna get out there and we're gonna try to put together a documentary this year that I'm talking to Uncle Mike about it. Big Lou just passed away. We got a lot of footage of him though, but that's, you know, that's gonna be sad, you know. You know, that's gonna be sad, you know. You know what I'm saying? But blaze the bud up, weed head lovers, you know? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna play this.
No matter what you cop, nigga, roll it on. I had a whole hood asking, can they roll with y'all? When they really wanna know if they can blow with y'all. If you're a true chief, but how can you tell them no?
Blaze the bud up, we heads lovers.
Blowing on that blaze, that ballistic shit.
blaze the bud up. We heads love us. Blowing on that blaze, that ballistic shit. Blaze the bud up. We heads love us. Blowing on that blaze, that ballistic shit. And everywhere I go, I'm leaving the ashes, man. And everywhere I go, I'm leaving the ashes, man.
Yeah. He just on the hook on that one. He ain't got no verse on that one. But yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's a horrible situation. Brother passed away like that. Very young brother, you know. And not much I can say about that. I pretty much talk about that a lot. And it's just a sad situation. So some things was in the fire, some things were supposed to happen. You know? We're gonna play That's Love to Smoke. He snapped on that. He doing the hook. You hear him on the hook, and the first verse, he kick it off. It's one of the big songs we do. When we would do concerts, we would always do this, Seattle Hemp Fest and stuff like that. We would send it up.
Blazing past the truck, 'cause you know the individuals love to smoke. Just blazing past the truck, 'cause you know the individuals love to smoke. Just blazing past the truck, 'cause you know the individuals love to smoke.
Love the smoke, love the chief, love the drink. I'ma stay blowing all the way to the bank. I don't give a fuck what other niggas think, long as I'm getting gone on that motherfucking thing. 420 and it's early in the morning. Scratch my ball, roll a blunt, and I'm yawning. I blaze it up when I'm busy or I'm boring. If I'm in the hood, motherfucker, I'm torn.
Just blazing past the truck, 'cause you know the individuals love to smoke. Just blazing past the truck, 'cause you know the individuals love to smoke.
Love the smoke, love the chief, love the drink. I'ma stay blowing all the way to the bank. I don't give a fuck what other niggas think, long as I'm getting gone on that motherfucking thing. 420 and it's early in the morning. Scratch my ball, roll a blunt, and I'm yawning. I blaze it up when I'm busy or I'm boring. If I'm in the hood, motherfucker, I'm torn.
I need an ounce just to get out the bed. Gotta smoke about a pound, nigga, straight to the head. All I do all day is smoke drugs till you're high, till my fingertips burnt, till I'm on cloud nine. I love the way that we smoke fizz up in my chest. I love smoking drugs, cause it ain't nothing but the best. You niggas settle for bullshit, but I ain't settle for less. I'm smoking on that purple in New York and that chronic in the West, nigga.
Just blazing past the truck, 'cause you know the individuals love to smoke. Just blazing past the truck, 'cause you know the individuals love to smoke.
Pass that, let me grab that. Where the weed, where the drink, where you stash that? Where the hash at? Roll back and blow back. Hit a block, I'ma show you where the hoes at. But nigga, you gon' be like where they close at. Puff, puff, let me hit it, never hold that. Nigga, please, I'll show you how to smoke weed. Shotguns to the head, make your nose bleed.
Motherfucker, when I'm in the south, I'm getting crunk. Smoking on that pound weed or Jamaican skunk. That good shit got a nigga off in the zone. I hit the block and niggas wonder what the fuck I'm on. But you can see it in my eyes, a nigga straight high. Looking like I smoked a whole ounce of chocolate tie. So don't hesitate to play.
One thing, Chicago can't say nothing because we always represent the city. Bulls, Cubs, Bears, White Sox. Always, nigga.
I'm real about what you smoking, let end up to hit that. You know if it's your better, you know that I'm with that. Don't flip that, cause I make you wish that you never lit that. Take a whiff of this and you asking me, can we split that? Get back, before you end up in a body bag. You know that I keep that dodgy, that green with the orange hands. That real shit, not that fake shit. That spray, that hot shit. That shit that had you choking with a headache in the sleep.
It's like blowing on a pack of lifesavers. I got this shit in 3 motherfucking flavors. I blaze with my guys, don't fuck with haters. If you tryna bum on me, I'll see you later. Put it in the vapor, pipe in the bone. This shit make me get right over songs. This girl here, a special part of my life. Man, I swear that Mary Jane is my wife.
Just blazing pass the drug, cause you know the individuals love to smoke.
You know we love to smoke with individuals. No matter where we at. Seattle, Australia, Canada, worldwide, baby.
Smoking on that blueberry, honey bud, purple, white rhino and shit.
Chocolate tie, Hawaii, baby, Maui, Wowie, you name it, we know.
So yeah, rest in peace to Big Lou. I just wanted to come over and give him some respect, play some of his verses, and it's just been a strange day. You know, it's a weird ass way to wake up. Somebody calling you, telling you somebody you close to passed away like that. It's a real crazy thing. It makes you think about your own mortality, you know, and how, you know, precious life is, you know. Sometimes you can end up taking for granted how precious life is, right? That's when we was doing we was sponsoring bongs and all type of great stuff, right? Really putting a lot into our artwork, really putting a lot into our covers instead of just a cheap, you know, fold out. We would go and really put some energy into it. Shout out to Climax Bongs. Shout out to Canna Gear. The Blackhawks, we got the Blackhawks on some other stuff. We do have the Blackhawks on some shirts. We definitely got the Blackhawks on some shirts. You know. But Chicago, the north side is crazy about the Cubs. Hip hop is big with the White Sox hats. We had to go that. The Bulls, because of Michael Jordan, and just 6 championships. Then the Bears, 'cause of the Super Bowl, and the Bears. So, you know, the Blackhawks would be the 5th most popular team behind those 4. So we picked the most popular ones. You know, we also picked the ones where they could kind of, you know, where some of them could wear their gang colors, right? We couldn't get everybody in them, but we wanted to put Ando in that silver and black in that White Sox because he's a vice lord. And we wanted to put TCO in that blue. He's a GD. And we put Big Lou in the Bears because he's Big Lou, and everybody used to like the fridge, and football players was big, and so he had that football player's shoulders. And then we also put the winners of the Cannabis Cup that year on there, the best bud on there at that time. We got the Killer Green on there. We got the God Bud. We got the MK Ultra on there. And we got the Amnesia Haze on there. So we really would put a lot in. Also, we was doing our merch real big. We was having the merch popping at that time. Hitting them with the merch. Hitting them with the shirts, the Rule the World Records hats, I-Click hats, individual hats. And the hemp bags for the ladies, 100% hemp bags. Patches and pendants. And we was doing all that with we didn't have no big budget like that. We wasn't Puffy or Suge Knight. Oh, that made it difficult. It's very difficult to go into business when you're not a multimillionaire. You don't have the big loans and the big money. And they basically discourage you from even trying because they want you to have a certain amount of money to be able to make a certain amount of money. So I encourage young black people to go in some of these businesses regardless if you have the money or not. Because failure is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, the only failure is when you don't even try. So the only failures about anything is you didn't even try it. If you tried it, you didn't fail. You only fail when you don't try. You know, you have to be persistent and you have to push your music and you have to have faith in yourself and make sure your stuff is copyrighted and make sure your stuff is out there where people can find it and then shop your shit. So, you know, the money's still there for their families at any time. With all these weed songs, we could end up with some tracks on it, documentaries, marijuana documentaries, movies, scenes where they smoking weed. At any time somebody could search and find that and say, we want to use this song in this movie, because they still using Frank Sinatra and James Brown and Aretha Franklin in movies. So they'll still go back and reach and get your music if you keep your music out there, keep it alive. We just recently pulled all of their music off of CD Baby and put it on DistroKid. So you get the link in the description, or somebody, one of my moderators, posts a link, and hit the link in the description and go get a lot of that music. It's definitely collector's items, you know? We made the first medical marijuana song ever made. And did a lot of work in the game. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to end with the song that we always start the concerts with. You can hear him on the hook, and he's the first verse. And it's called Send 'Em Up. Send it up, send it up.
Yeah, it's the a.k.a. Don't get it twisted.
Send it up, roll 'em up, lick 'em up and stick 'em up, now light 'em up. That's what we call blowing up. Lick the down and rolled up, smell the aroma. This marijuana music you bump, act like it's all us. Blowing back and hold the stack, tip and control, we flipping packs. Ain't shit you can do with that, something smoking to the back. Send it up, roll 'em up, lick 'em up and stick 'em up, now light 'em up. That's what we call blowing up. Hell yeah, nigga, we back, bitches. You fuck around and have back stitches, the folks are from Max. Who was the black kitten? Who was the Mac hitting? Niggas don't wanna see me, motherfucker. I'm stack getting. Get more money on, tickle your funny bone. With nothing but this hollow tip, hopping up out this chrome. It's on. Treating you niggas like some fucking hoes. We the individuals, find some fucking drones.
Hell yeah, nigga, with the eye-click. Motherfucker better than who you ride with. Better fucking with the wrong one, nigga, hit the block with the Glock. Nigga, don't die, bitch, shit be my shit. Fuck your shit. Nigga, better than what you want to fix. So I'ma hit the block, nigga, get caught. What niggas steady walking to the nigga on shot shit. I keep it moving, man. Keeping the man, but no, it's still staying the same. Remaining the same, so I'm stuck in the game. But the nigga can't change. For a nigga stuck now, but the nigga can't hang. Make a nigga wanna move money, but the nigga better feel it. So I show him that they got to never stop for what they be fucking. I hit the block with the Glock. Make a nigga drop in this thing.
Y'all stressing you, then we blasting you with some shit that's so flame. Motherfuckers stay choking, cause smoking, we gon' shut down the game. Yo, don't just to the brain, that's what we do, that's how we see through your face. Niggas talking shit, they wanna try to be sleep, but they don't know who I'm with. Nigga, this that I-click bitch, better known as the individual. So anybody try to hit the stats, guess what, we gon' leave you critical. See, this just our ritual, bitch. Get a fifth and roll up a spliff, so a nigga
sit back and relax, don't we try to get lit. We coming up straight from the land of broken hats. They show the hustlers with stats. Back on attack on tracks, got you high to relax. Chevy slats and contacts, smoke plenty weed in the air. So we blow killer in here. Eyes low, riding slow, hydroponics. Yes, I'm hooked on chronic. Now roll them bees up. We can't leave, the game need us. We bleed it up, we put it out, they eat it up. Hit them up and send it up. Now look at us, come holler back, baby. We'll get you lit enough. Send it up, roll them up, lick them up and stick them up. Now light them up. That's what we call blowing up.
So yeah, that's what it is. Rest in peace to Big Lou. It's a sad situation. And we are going to end this with what we started. Heaven for a Chief.
For the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before Jah out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices.
Before we start this conversation, let me roll this blunt real, man. Man, let me smoke with you. You my main man, God, let me joke with you, for real. Our conversations over revelations, and these bulls that be hating, wars that be fading, man. Tails to be Satan, which way I go? Is it ready to follow the right man, or I move this blowing? Mood is cool when I'm off in these streets. They respect me, Lord. That's why my kids do eat. They love the new Jordans. Love to see Pop ride on 24s with convertible drop tops and Lamborghini doors. And why do I live this life? I see my people going all wrong, blowing it pipe. Yeah. And in the late night they blowing it white. I count gunshots like once or twice in my life.
Is there a heaven for a Chief? Is there a heaven for a Chief? Is there a heaven for a Chief? Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a Chief?
Lord, I need to know if there's a heaven for a Chief, cause I've been having some problems.
Gotta do that one more time.
For the incense.
'Cause that's what I want to know. Is it a heaven for a Chief? Rest in peace, Big Lou.
Before Jah out of the angel's hand.
He
And the
really
angel
did
took
good
the
on that
censer and
verse.
filled it with fire of the altar.
He really
and
did
cast
good
it
on
into
that
the
hook.
earth. And there were voices.
So that's Big Lou on the hook. I go to brothers from Ethiopia. Saying a prayer from Shashamani. Shout out to Rob Diggy for the beat. Classic. Heaven for a Chief. Make sure you grab that.
Lord, I gotta talk to you. Man, I ain't gonna stunt. And before we start this conversation, let me roll this blunt real, man. Man, let me smoke with you. You my main man, God, let me joke with you, for real. Our conversations over revelations, is these bulls that be hating, wars that be fading, man. Tails to be Satan, which way I go? Is it ready to follow the right man, or I move this blowing, man? Mood is cool when I'm off in these streets. They respect me, Lord. That's why my kids do eat. They love the new Jordans. Love to see Pop ride on 24s with convertible drop tops and Lamborghini doors. And why do I live this life? I see my people going all wrong, blowing it pipe. Yeah. And in the late night they blowing it white. I count gunshots like once or twice in my life.
Is there a heaven for a Chief? Is there a heaven for a Chief? Is there a heaven for a Chief? Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a Chief?
Lord, I need to know if there's a heaven for a Chief, cause I've been having some problems. I'm solving them with reefer. I need to know honestly if my baby mama's a keeper, cause she be stressing me, and the Esther just keep on blessing me. I wonder when it's time to come home, would you accept the sesame? Cause my chest would be so full of it like you testing me. I'ma keep it real, I just wish I had my own recipe. I get that, that's when these people will see the best of me. Smoke for my niggas that's gone and tell them rest in peace. 6 feet, so I chief 6 plus little heavenly. I get pissed, and the Esther brings out the better me. I know when you smiling down on me, judging how the weather be. But I need an answer, it ain't like it's causing cancer, teacher. I just need to know if I can see it, cause I'm a chiefer. Everything I do in my life involves weed. Will I meet you? I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see.
Is there a heaven for a chiefer? Is there a heaven for a chiefer? Is there a heaven for a chiefer? Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a chiefer?
If there's a ghetto in the sky, Lord, when I die, I'ma be smoking on chronic and getting high. Floating by, eyes closed with a potent high. God forgive me, but I need that weed. I hope Jesus can feel me back on the block. The cops want me locked for pop. I dodge and fade, I'm still smoking, stuck in my ways. I'm still puffing, yes, I'm stuck in the game. Still hustling on the come up like, hey, don't you criticize me, cause I'm trying to get paid. I got a habit of smoking that weed. I got a conscience, I don't want you to bleed. Dear Lord, is there heaven for me? I'm a chiefer, I can't go a day without the reefer. I reach up and roll up another blunt, swole up another puff, inhale it and keep it in. Hold up, I'm about to bust. I will never get enough. I can't live without this stuff. Lord, I need to pass it. God, this world is really rough.
Is there a heaven for a chiefer? Is there a heaven for a chiefer? Is there a heaven for a chiefer? Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a chiefer? 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 Lord, I wanna know, is there a heaven for a chiefer?
Mais je welcome home, everyone. Post to the mission.
And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb.
So yeah, rest in peace, Big Lou. We gonna miss you, bro. You died too soon. Condolences go out to your family. And my heart goes out to his family and to the brothers that he rapped with. I know they hurting, especially TCO, because they was like this. So you all stay safe, positive energy all the time. I click, nigga.